What's up, everybody? Matt Gajewski here with the Awesemo channel, talking USFL DFS ahead of week one. This new league we have is upon us, and there's a lot of uncertainty. Practice reports being released past midnight, but we're here to break it down for you ahead of week one. Before we get started, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the video, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. We're also brought to you today by Prize Picks, and if you don't know what Prize Picks is, it's daily prop-based contests. You can make some lineups that have up to 5 players where you can net up to 10 extra entry fee. You can also get 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum when you sign up using the link in the description to this video and make a deposit on Prize Picks. You're going to receive an email within 24 to 48 hours to redeem your free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. So make sure to check out Prize Picks today. And for today's video, we're going to go position by position. But with the quarterbacks, I want to talk stacks along with them. So that'll encompass receivers and tight ends. Now, just one quick rule of thumb, you don't have to play tight ends. They're all incorporated in flex positions on DraftKings. And historically in AAF, in XFL, and even in college football, tight ends are typically bad plays unless they're really cheap or they're kind of receivers disguised as tight ends. So just keep that in mind for what it's worth. We're going to start with the chalkiest quarterback on the board. It is Tampa Bay QB Jordan Ta'amu. He's going to be playing in Todd Haley's offense. So we are expecting pass-heavy, downfield pushes, and probably a little bit up-tempo compared to some other teams in this league too. Ta'amu is going to be chalky for good reason. He played in the XFL for the Battlehawks, was one of the best quarterbacks there for fantasy purposes because of his mobility. He was top 10 in rushing yards in the league, and that includes all running backs. So Ta'amu has a great floor, and he's probably one of the better passers in this league still, bounced around on some practice squads after his stint in the XFL. He's a little harder to stack, though, so I'm comfortable if you want to run him naked. This team is carrying more receivers than a lot of other teams in this league, so there isn't a clear target share. I think Derek Willies is your best bet, familiarity with Haley, and overall, he has a big-bodied frame, and he's athletic, so he can body up some of these small corners. There's not much consistency behind him. Derek Dillon's on the team, Jordan Lasley, who was drafted in the 5th round of the NFL draft, and then Rashard Davis joined the team late, so I'm not sure how it's going to shake out behind Willies, but I'm pretty confident he'll be the wide receiver 1 for stacks. For those of you looking a little contrarian, one player I really like is going to be on New Orleans with the Breakers in Kyle Sloter at quarterback. He's another guy that's been around, and he had some success in the preseason, which we can't say for a lot of these players. The Breakers are another team that project to be pass-heavy, and they project to be up-tempo, which should benefit Sloter here, who's actually, a decent athlete for this league. And when you look to Sloter, he's much easier to stack than Ta'amu, not only because Ta'amu does so much on the ground, but Sloter only has 4 receivers that are going to be active. So that's Sean Poindexter, Johnny Dixon, Jonathan Adams, and Chad Williams. Among this group, you have a very affordable option in Jonathan Adams, played his college ball at Arkansas State, good producer, big receiver, athletic receiver, ran in the 4.5s, above 220 pounds. So he's a player that could also body up some of these corners, and he'll be competing alongside Sean Poindexter, who plays in the boundary but is very expensive, and then Johnny Dixon, an Ohio State product, who plays in the slot. I think you can stack Sloter with 1 or 2 of these players, and your lineups are going to be contrarian already just because you're not playing Ta'amu. And then from there, one last team to just mention quick as far as contrarian stacks. If you want to get really off the board, you can look to a player in Brian Scott, who is the quarterback for Philadelphia. Very unknown team here. Scott played Division III football. His coach is Bart Andrews, who was a spring league veteran, and he drafted a bunch of his buddies. The offense is going to be awesome, pass-heavy, up-tempo, run a lot of 4 wide. It's just the talent here is questionable, and Scott, coming from Division III, easily has the worst pedigree among signal callers, but there's continuity here, which I think should be worth something in a league that's only been practicing for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Stacking him, you're probably looking directly at Devin Gray, who's another holdover from the spring league, and there's not much consistency behind him. But we're getting really contrarian outside of the top quarterbacks here, but just another name to mention. In the running back room, there's a couple players that make a lot of sense here. We're going to go back to Tampa Bay with Todd Haley's system and look at B.J. Emmons. And this is going to be a 2-back system. There's only 2 backs on the roster. Haley is no stranger to bell cow backs. We saw that with Le'Veon Bell. But even when Le'Veon Bell went down, it was D'Angelo Williams. It was Stevan Ridley. B.J. Emmons was the first running back drafted. He's a former 4-star recruit, played at Alabama. Injuries derailed his career, transfers to JUCO, goes back to Florida Atlantic, injured both of those seasons, but he's a big back. He's an athletic back, and we just haven't seen him play really since high school. But the pedigree's there, former 4-star recruit, and we know Haley uses the 3 down back on most occasions. So Emmons, I think, is a very safe play here. Outside of that, you have another safe play in Garrett Groshek, who plays for the Pittsburgh Maulers. This is not your pass-heavy scheme. This is going to be one of the most run-heavy offenses in football. They're actually the only team in the league that carries a fullback, further pointing towards the run game here. Groshek is much cheaper than BJ Emmons as well. He's most known for his kind of fullback / H-back profile, but at Wisconsin, he caught 20 passes in 3 straight years. He notoriously brought Jonathan Taylor off the field on 3rd downs. And while he's not the most athletic back, he does have good athleticism for this league. So he's another name to mention here. Again, tight ends, they're not the best plays overall. But if you're looking for some tight ends that do have receiving upside, 2 I want to mention are Bug Howard and Cheyenne O'Grady. They're players that could be contrarian pivots in their various offenses, but probably still just plays for tournaments overall. But that'll do it for some of the best plays in the USFL Week 1 DFS lobby. We have all sorts of content at Awesemo. We have full projections. We have full slate write-ups if you want to get even more depth and look at every single one of these players. We broke them down in depth, where they went to college, what their size speed profile is, what teams they're on, what offenses, how they fit. It is all there for you on Awesemo, so make sure to check that out. I am Matt Gajewski on Twitter at Matt_Gajewski. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next time.